Hello, boys and girls, and moms and dads. Welcome back. It's been such a busy week, you didn't even see me. But today I come back and I read you another story. I'm Sush, by the way, from the Mennonite Heritage Village here in Steinbach. And I will read you a book today called The Greatest Gift. And it's one of the adventures of Junior Bear. Now, the person who wrote this book lives in Steinbach, and the person who made the book, or the pictures, is from Steinbach too. It's very nicely done. Today was the day for the big announcement, and Junior Bear was very excited. His father had gathered all of the animals in the forest together, and everyone was curious about what was going to happen. Mr. Bear began, "I have decided that this is what this forest needs. It needs a grand tree house for all the animals to come and play knipsbrat. Since it will be for all of us, we will need to help build it. I want you all to bring what you can, and we'll do this together." Everyone loved the idea of having a tree house, and everyone began to whisper about it. Mr. Eagle was the first one who spoke to the group. "Since this will be a grand tree house, it must be built in the best tree. I give you mine. It is the biggest and the strongest in the forest." Junior was amazed. He looked up at Mr. Eagle's tall tree. It was a big gift. Filled with joy, the Beaver family offered their gift. "We will provide all the wood for the tree house, and we will even make the furniture." Junior was shocked by their gift. "Oh, that's a lot of wood." Then the Deer family stepped forward. "A grand tree house needs beautiful decorations. We will bring the most beautiful flowers from our fields every week so the tree house will always be decorated." Junior could not believe what he was hearing. 3 different families had given 3 large gifts. The animals were in awe, and Mr. Bear was very pleased. With all their excitement, they began to collect all the supplies, and soon there was a big pile. As Junior watched, he heard his father's voice. "Junior, who do you see? Who is over there in the shadows?" Junior looked, and he couldn't see anyone. But then he saw someone move. It was Mrs. Possum. Junior remembered hearing about Mrs. Possum. She was a widow, which meant her husband had died and she was all alone. The one thing that Junior knew about Mr. Possum was that he had made all kinds of things out of wood and traded them to the other animals in the forest. Even his dad traded with the Mr. Possums a few times. As Junior watched Mrs. Possum, he noticed that she was carrying a board with a design on it. He squinted at it and read it and saw the word "welcome" carved right into it. Junior watched as Mrs. Possum scurried out of the shadows toward the pile of supplies. She gently added her gift to the pile, scampered back, and disappeared into the forest. "Do you want to know something, Junior?" Mr. Bear asked as he put his large paw around his son. "That little piece of wood that Mrs. Possum put on the pile, that is the greatest gift. The greatest gift anyone has given for the treehouse." Junior did not understand. How could one little piece of wood be a greater gift than those beautiful flowers, or the furniture, or even the tree? He asked. He did not understand. "You see, Junior, there are other great trees in the forest, so Mr. Eagle will find a new home. And there are many more logs that the beaver family can find, and the fields will have more flowers for the deer family to bring. But that piece of wood Mrs. Possum gave, that was the very last piece that she had left over from what Mr. Possum had made. Now when she goes home, she's not going to have anything to trade for food, and she will have to discover other ways to find what she needs. And that is why it's the greatest gift." Junior now understood. Mrs. Possum had given everything she owned. The day arrived when the tree house was done, and everyone was so excited to see the grand opening. The tree was tall, the woodwork was perfect, and the flowers were beautiful. Junior Bear was amazed by it all, but he mostly wanted to see where his dad had put Mrs. Possum's gift. As Mr. Bear welcomed them all there, Junior found what he was looking for. Mrs. Possum's sign was at the very bottom of the staircase. His dad had placed the greatest gift where everyone who came to enjoy the treehouse would have to step on it. And they would step on the piece and know that they were welcome. That's what it said on it. That night, as Junior is being tucked into bed, he looked at his dad. "Dad, that treehouse looks great. I saw what you did with Mrs. Possum's gift, and I thought it was really nice. It's the perfect spot for it." "I thought you would like it," Mr. Bear smiled as he gave Junior a hug. And with that, he said good night, and Junior went to bed knowing that no matter how big or how small, each gift is very important. And so that is the story of Junior Bear and the greatest gift. Thank you for joining me, and we will see you again next week with another book and another activity page. Thank you. Toodaloo.